friends, welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. So, figured I'd get around to finally reviewing the rest of the Build-A-Figure line of Cyberverse Deluxe figures. So, today, mostly for sake of getting it out of the way, we're going to look at Cyberverse Deluxe class Grimlock. And, shall we say, I have issues with this figure. Now, I will give it, this T-Rex mode does look pretty alright when you can get it transformed correctly. You can see there's a little bit of asymmetry on the tail, but it's a pretty, for the most part, like aside from like right there, it's a pretty clean looking, Grimlock T-Rex mode. But then you come into issue number 1. This thing barely has any posability. These arms, you can see the little gap around them and you think they move. No, they are completely molded in place on the panels that form the side. Okay, so at least you've got the legs. Well, you can rotate them here at the thigh. There's a ball joint there, so you get a little bit in and out. Then you try to bend the knee. That's all you've got. But you can bend it inward, except you can't bend the leg out far enough to actually use that, so that's lame. But at least, yes, you can do the head in a horrific looking fashion. Just be careful when you do the head, because 90% of copies of this figure that I have seen, this bottom jaw, it's got this little popping point here for transformation. Yeah, it likes to just fall off when you do that a lot of the time, so be careful that your Grimlock still has a bottom jaw. But again, I'll give it the aesthetics. The aesthetics are pretty okay. He does come with 2 accessories you can use in this mode. He first comes with his crown that the camera does not want to focus on. Pretty simple looking mold, but pretty well done because it is, made to fit his head exactly. There's a little hole right here in the back, a little tab right there if I can get it to focus. Just plug that in right back there. You have your Grimlock with a ridiculously huge crown. Then if we go ahead and open his mouth up here, there is a pegging point right there for a fire blast effect that he comes with. So you can go ahead and wedge that in there and have him breathing fire. So that's all pretty okay. Let's go ahead and get him transformed. First thing you're going to want to do, because this is the part where it usually will go wrong somehow, open the mouth up all the way on top, fold in the lower jaw, then fold the upper jaw down over it. As you can see, yes, it popped out. There's a point where these things will coexist and give him a hysterical looking underbite. Roughly like that. It'll place itself a little bit better later, but I like to do it now just to get it out of the way. Go ahead. Kind of get the legs as out of the way here as you can so that you can undo these 2 tabs here. And let's see, it's been a little while since I've done this, guy, so it might take me a second here. Go ahead and bring this whole section down, which will reveal his face. Come to the back here. If you're lucky, this little piece here will tab on right there. These pieces do not like to tab together. This is another well-known issue with this figure. But go ahead, bring these back. As you do, fold these sections out, get full clearance. Rotate the waist into place. You should now be able to get all of this to come out. Fold the dino arms out flat. Take this little back blaster here, fold that up into the hollow of his back. Flatten all of this out, and there is a tab right here, goes in right there. just to help keep everything locked in place somewhat. Doesn't do the job the best, but it tries. I might have things a little bit mislined up. Okay, there we go. Make sure that piece goes in all the way, and then it will tab in kind of okay. Then bring the head down. It will tab in right there as well, if it will stay together. So you end up with that for a backpack. Let's go ahead and get the legs out of the way really fast. Yeah, this ball joint on this leg likes to fall off for me very easily, but if you can get the leg rotated to that position, then fold this out, fold it forward, fold this piece back, close this back up, bring this back on its double hinge to get the foot in place, and then just fold this down to fill in the calf. So, not the worst little leg transformation, just sometimes it can be a little tricky to get everything to line up and actually go where it needs to. But same thing, other side, shift it back, try to figure out why my camera has suddenly decided it wants to be 8 times worse when it comes to autofocus. Then finally come down here, take the dino legs, rotate them, fold down the hand, fold down the claws. And there you have your Grimlock in robot mode. And it's mostly okay, I'll say. The robot mode does look a lot better than the dino mode does. It's a lot more solid. It can actually pose. The head is on a ball joint, so you actually get a pretty good range of motion there. Ball joint in the shoulders, still kind of limited. You'll have to bring these panels back and out of the way to get any real posability. But you get a rotation at least. You get a little in and out. Some forward and back as well right there. Ball joint here at the elbow, which now that you've turned this joint, actually will give you, a decent range. So that's nice. Nothing at the wrist. He has a waist swivel. Ball joint here at the hips, so he can kick forward, back, out. Then about mid-thigh, there's a swivel as well, so you get a little bit more rotation. Again, on this side, this ball joint likes to pop out super, super easily when I try to use this joint. So keep an eye on his ball joints. This guy just was known for having loose ball joints. Not quite 90 degrees of bend at the knee there. Ankle tilt, ankle forward and back. And, you can extend it out using that transformation hinge earlier if you need to for, whatever reason. So, overall, it's not the worst thing. It is still definitely, at least in my opinion, the weakest of this wave of 8. But it's not too bad. I've definitely seen worse Grimlock figures. You can go ahead and give him the crown in this mode. There are two little slots up there in the side that you can see, as well as, just keep the tab in the back. And his little horns here will actually peg into the crown, which sometimes can be tricky to do, but once you get it on, it holds okay. Then you can go ahead. For some reason, you can peg the blast effect right there on his wrist. I guess he can walk in the room and have his own pyrotechnics show going on or something if you have a second one. But the main alternate use of it is you can actually plug it into his hand, give him a fire club, or maybe it's just a scepter since he's sitting here with his big, silly looking crown. But overall, not the worst figure, I'm going to say, but definitely a little bit subpar for this line. So take it for what you will. If you're still trying to complete the Macadam Build-A-Figure set, it's worth getting this guy, not just trying to get the loose piece. This is still a fun enough figure. And this is, if nothing else, a really fun version of Grimlock, where he's, really stupid and, me Grimlock, not bozo, stuff like you expect while he's a T-Rex. But then when he transforms, he's all proper and well-spoken and, why yes, fellow Autobot, I do apologize for my behavior back there. And, so he's a fun enough character. This is a decent representation of him. I still really want to get one of the big Grimlocks they released in this line, though. So take all that for what you will. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.